Hi everybody, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So our featured violin today is the Louis Carpini violin. So we have a few violins in the Carpini lineup. They're differentiated by how much time has been spent on the interior carvings of the violin, right? So the more time is spent on the inside, the more money it costs, right? Then also the quality of the finish, mostly like how complex it is or how much time is spent on the finish, and also just the overall quality of the wood. Okay, so Carpinis though, even the least expensive one, which is the one I'm holding here, is a really popular violin. We've been selling the Carpini line for like, I don't know, 25 years or something. They're a perennial favorite. There's teachers all around the country. They're always going back to the Carpini. The reason is because they offer a lot of violin for the money. I mean, a lot of shops might sell these for twice as much as we do. They tend to have a really responsive sound, and they tend to be on the warmer side. And if you put a fancy set of strings on a Carpini, you'll get a surprisingly good sound out of the instrument. So it will reward you by kind of upgrading, the strings and things like that. So I'll talk about a few of the tenets of the Carpini specifically. Okay, so with all our violins, they have tight grain spruce on the tops of the instrument, right? And then we have a really nice maple on the back and the sides. Now, all the Carpinis are going to have, nice flame, right? The more money you pay, you get more flame, right? But even the least expensive one is going to have a pretty nice amount of flame. Now, the finish is a nice oil finish. It's a hand-rubbed oil finish, right? It's not super complex in terms of like how many layers it is, but it's several layers, and there's a reason why it costs a little bit more than the violins in a lineup that are not as expensive. But the finish is just really nice to look at. They're always this nice honey brown, and they just look great. Now it comes with 4 fine tuners. Now if you wanted 1 fine tuner, of course we can switch it out, no extra cost. But the 4 fine tuners do make it easy to tune the violin. And then you also have, a great setup on the instrument, and I'll talk about that a little bit. Now, the fittings also, I'll mention, are 100%, ebony, the highest quality ebony that you can get. That's the pegs and the fingerboard and the chin rest. So it not only looks cool, but they're extremely durable, and these items are kind of considered wear items, right? Okay, so now in terms of the setup, I'll talk about that a little bit. I talk about that in all my videos. Maybe you've seen it before and you get a little tired of hearing it, I don't know. But here at Kennedy Violins, we're a little bit different than most other companies. So we do the final assembly and setup here in Washington State, right? So I'm recording in Washington State right now. Behind this wall where I am right now, we have a team of luthiers who will professionally set up your instrument once you place the order online or you give us a call. So we're going to set that violin up right before we send it out. And the setup is really important because a proper setup will maximize the potential for, or maximize the potential for whatever instrument that they're working with, right? So you want that instrument to sound as good as it can. You want it to have as warm a sound as you can, to be as responsive as it can. And so that's why a proper setup is really important. A proper setup will also make the instrument a lot easier to play, which of course, violin is hard enough. We don't need it to be harder to play, right? So what I mean by setup is we have a very high quality French Aubert bridge on the top of the violin, and we're paying a lot of attention to that curvature, so the string crossings are easier. And on the Carpinis, as with the other violins that are a little bit more expensive in the price lineup, we spend a little bit of time here on these inner carvings here on the bridge as well, which also helps with the resonance of the instrument. We also make sure that the feet on the bridge fit perfectly to the top of the violin, and we pay a lot of attention to the spacing of the strings, the height of the strings, as well as the nut. And of course, we make sure that the pegs are fit really, really well, so the violin is easy to tune and it stays in tune. So that's about it for the Carpini. When you purchase a Carpini, not only will it be fully set up and ready to go when you receive it, but it also comes as a complete outfit. So you'll have everything that you need. And it comes in a very high quality oblong case that provides tons of storage, right? So it's not one of those dinky cases where you can't hardly fit anything in it. All of your accessories, your shoulder rest, your rosin, your cleaning cloth, whatever you got, including your sheet music, is going to fit in the case, along with it's going to come with a nice bow as well. So if you guys have any questions about the Carpinis or any other line of violins, remember here at Kennedy Violins, we're all players and teachers. This is what we do. This is what we know. So you just tell us what you need, what your needs are, what you want to see in a violin. Tell us your story, how long you've been playing. Do you take lessons? Or you just play at school? Whatever it is, you just let us know your situation, and we can recommend the perfect violin for you. So I hope you guys have a great, wonderful day.